Just know that the fight for whether you will own anything digital in the future is going on today. As for games, I think there's actually a great middle ground solution that I haven't heard anybody talk about, which is to give publisher-specific credit for trade-ins of digital goods. Imagine if you traded in Assassin's Creed and got $15 toward your next purchase of an Ubisoft game. It's a great way for publishers to help establish brand loyalty and really get consumers to know which games they make. On the flip side, it gives players a way to at least get some return on their investment, and the developers can still get paid. There is the question of what happens with small games and independent games, and who knows, maybe that's why Microsoft's trying to get all indies to use a publisher with them, but it's a piece of the puzzle still to be worked out. Still, it would allow publishers to do really cool things that are good for everybody, publisher, consumer, and developer alike, like doubling the amount of money you get for a game shortly before the next one in the series comes out. It reminds the customer that the game's coming out, it gives them some extra cash toward it so they can feel better about buying it, and it helps to push day one sales numbers. Now, at first I was a little worried about the idea of giving publishers control over the buyback price of their own games, but I'm 90% sure that the way the free market plays out on this one, publishers are likely to give much higher trade-in rewards than GameStop does.
There's this band I like called the Avett Brothers, possibly the Avett Brothers, and they have this song I like in which they sing, "I want to have friends that I can trust who love me for the man I've become, not the man that I was." But it should be who? It should be three who's. I want to have friends who I can trust, who love me for the man who I've become. That is for non-people. Who is for people. And when you call a who a that, you are dehumanizing the who. And don't dehumanize the who. They already have enough problems just with old age. Your delicious new chili red Mini Cooper is not for sale. It is for sale. Okay, who and whom. Who and whom are both pronouns. Who is a subject, whom is an object. So who is your favorite Spice Girl? But whom do you like among the Spice Girls? Easy trick, if your answer would contain a he or a she, use who. If your answer would contain a him or a her, use whom. If you're using a singular noun, use a singular pronoun. And if you're using a plural noun, use a plural pronoun. For example, everyone in our office has their friends, but everyone in our office has his or her favorite episode of Duck Dynasty. It's Catcher in the Rye, but Sex and the City.
About a sharp-dressed man. Don't watch diamond ring, but I ain't missing not a single thing. Cuff weeks, stick pin. When asked about I'm gonna do you in, they come around and just as fast as they can. Every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Let's kick it. You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Dog pooping at baseball game wouldn't usually be my kind of gif, Hank. I prefer the higher brow animals interrupting sporting events animations. But despite the grainy lo-fi camera work here, there's something very compelling. The dog is literally crapping on the game, as if to say, I reject your obsessive fascination with sports. The dog seems to be asking, which of us is really sentient? You mindlessly watching men attempt to hit a ball with a wooden stick, or me, elegantly articulating my feelings via defecation. Now, of course, dog on the pitch is so common that it's a world unto itself, but what moves me about dog on the pitch in all its iterations is the reminder by the dogs that sports are ultimately about play. For me, the comic pinnacle here is goalkeeper dog catcher fail, but the greatest of these gifts, unquestionably, is drug dog wants to play. This swift and relentless attack of the ball asks many important questions. Are there drugs in the ball? What kind of drugs could you put in a soccer ball? Would it affect the performance of the ball? And most importantly, why wasn't Air Bud 3 World Pup a better movie? Like all great GIFs, Mexican Drug Dog Wants to Play refuses to answer these questions directly or in a fully satisfying way. Instead, this work of art leaves us unsettled, but enlarged.